Greetings. I'm in Winchester to start the South Downs Way. So I've just got off the train, just gonna make my way to the high street, go down there, past the cathedral, and the start is, I think, at the mill. So let's go and have a look. Some seriously nice old buildings here.
But now I found out, I said I'm not going there anymore because one of these
I sent you another text to
So I'm just leaving Winchester, which I have not been to Winchester since I was a kid, so I don't really remember it very much, but what a lovely city. What a lovely, lovely city. A little bit tricky to get out of, just the usual problem with signs in a town, you know. It's, doesn't help that it's also a cycle path at this point as well, so the signs you're looking for are cycle signs, and there was one place where I did a wrong turning and walked right back down the South Downs Way because the sign was one-sided. Never mind. So we climbed up out the city now. First mile or so is done, and just heading for the M3 now, and I think once we cross the M3 then the walk really is sort of properly started. But really liking Winchester. It's a lovely place to start a long distance walk. %1 done. So no sooner do I start crossing the M3 than it starts spitting with rain. Like sort of a Rubicon has been crossed, and it feels like it's safe to unleash the weather on me. Hopefully it's just a shower. Right, next decision. It's not really a decision though, is it? Right, that's more like it. Bit of open land. So, should be getting quite a lot of this. Hopefully with less moisture. Looks like there's blue sky behind me. Excuse the noises. There's a rifle range down there, and it sounds like they're practicing. So it's probably time I talked to you about why I'm doing the South Downs Way. So firstly, I've got a bit of a project to walk all of the national trails, and this is one I picked for this year, and I just fits lengthways and everything. But why I'm doing it in March is probably a more relevant question. So it's quite a popular trail. It's an easy one, supposedly, although you know there's quite a bit of ascent, and you know it's not particularly hazardous. But I reckon in summer it could get really hot, and you could, you know, if you push yourself, you could do yourself all manner of mischief on this trail. So it's as hard as you want to make it, really. So I thought I'd do it in March for a few reasons. One, cooler. Two, it's a good sort of easing into the backpacking year with a slightly easier, more accessible trail. It's easy to get to from home. I also sort of bore in mind the fact that it's quite a popular trail, so I really don't want to be doing it in the summer when there's just loads of people, and with it being a bit allegedly hit and miss for camping, it's just better to do it when there's no people around. So I've heard various things about the camping possibilities on this trail. Sadly, a lot of the campsites don't open to April or Easter, or whichever that is they put on their sites. So I'm just likely to be a little too early for proper sites. Bar one or two. And so it has to be wild camping. And I've seen a number of people have done it. I've heard stories saying it's really hard. But the evidence of the videos I've seen suggests if we're used to stealth camping, it's nothing to worry about, really. You know, where I live, if you want to camp, my God, have you got to be stealthy. Not so much getting turfed off, it's just avoiding dickheads, really. So it's just best just to, no one knows you're there. So I'm hoping this will be alright. It's way better terrain than I usually camp on around home, so you know, I've looked at a few spots. I've got a few marked on the map. Camping's not really my major concern for this jaunt, and that is water. Yep, another national trail where I think I might be worrying about water the whole time. So it's lowland, basically. You know, we go up to 270 metres, something like that, in height. It's not really what you'd call upland. There aren't a lot of streams on the top of the downs because of the nature of the geology, and even those that are, you know, they've probably been pissed in by animals, or they've got other sorts of agricultural runoff. Yeah. So I didn't even bring my water filter. Just pointless. You know, if I do have to take any, I'll boil it a lot. No, so it's got to be slightly tamer water. on this trip. It's one less thing to carry, I suppose, in terms of filtering. But the South Thames Way is also blessed with just free water taps along the way. A lot of them are at farms or campsites or whatever, but it's certainly the only trail I've come across that has that sort of thing built in, as it were. The only issue with them is some of them are like drained and turned off during the winter, and we're sort of right on the cusp of end of winter, start of spring, so you know, even though I've got supposedly reliable water sources, I could find there's none in them if they've not been reactivated. So basically each day I've got to have a backup plan of where can I head to go and buy bottled water if I need to, which I'm a little bit more confident of doing on this trip than Glyndwr's Way, because I just didn't really go near anything. And this one, there are villages and you've got shops, and there may even be the odd petrol station with a bit of a detour and along the main road. So I'm not worried about it, but you know, I'm conscious that I might have to adapt my schedule to fit the needs of water. Well, I've heard them firing already, so that's no surprise. But in any way, that's not our way. We're going this way. Yuck. Already slightly regretting my choice of footwear. I've gone for my low-cut, non-waterproof trail shoes. I thought we were going to be fairly dry this week, so I thought I'd risk it. But already I'm thinking my higher cut waterproof boots might have been a more sensible choice, and some gaiters possibly. Didn't bother with those. Never mind. It's good practice for Scotland, just in terms of managing wet feet and stuff. So it's not the end of the world. Apparently it's no better up the top as well. I was just talking to a guy on a bike. So slow and steady. Feels like this is goodbye to Winchester time. Mud. More. Let me start that again. Mud. More mud. Lovely. This is the A272 per head, which always reminds me of summer holidays as a child, before the M25 and the M3 were like properly built. This was part of the route to the West Country. A272 to Winchester, then whatever came after that, A30, A33, something like that, depending on where we were going. Done about 5 miles total, which includes the mile through Winchester to the start. So about a third of the way through today's walk. Time for some lunch. Right, bit of an update. So I made it to my semi-planned camp spot about 4:30, and it was all right, but you know, it was still 2 hours till dark. Pretty public. Would have been fine if I'd rocked up at sunset, but I thought waiting 2 hours until to set up was possibly a bit much when I could possibly just about make the next place. But ultimately, it's a nice day. I just want to get some more walk under my belt. The only issue is I've got to move a bit and my feet are starting to hurt. So this could be one of those that'll do sort of days. So be interested to see where I end up.